Happy day after Labor Day, everybody. It is Tuesday and chamber check-in time. And today I have a great opportunity to share a little bit about Vall-eBike. We'll learn more from that from our director, Dave Foch. Hi, Dave.
Hi, Paul. How are you?
I'm terrific. We just got back from a nice long weekend and just happy to be back on the swing of things here in downtown Boise. Went and voted today for the Boise School District Board of Trustees election that's today. So remember to go vote, Dave. You probably already did.
Yep.
You can grab a Vall-eBike and head to any poll you want.
As long as it's downtown.
Right. So Dave, you know these chamber check-ins, they're really good ways of helping share our member stories. And we're broadcasting today live from this great platform called StreamYard, and we've been using it for the last couple years, and it's been a great tool for us to keep member engagement up and help learn more about what our chamber members are doing. So, and this series is sponsored, Dave, by Delta Dental of Idaho, and we couldn't do it without their help and partnership. So with that, I'm going to share a fun factoid that's relevant to today's discussion. Here we go.
Did you know that the electric toothbrush first appeared in 1939? Zzz, zzz, zzz.
1939, Dave.
I learned something every day.
So tell us about the bike share program. So let's kind of set the stage. Boise Valley has been a great commuter valley for years, and still, I mean, obviously is. Do you remember when the first kind of bike share started in the valley?
I do, and I was involved with that back then. It was back in the late 90s. It was a program called the Yellow Bike Program. And the idea behind it was they took bikes that had been donated to the Idaho Youth Ranch. They were rehabilitated by volunteers. And then every square inch of those bikes was painted yellow, and they were left unlocked and unattended all over downtown for people to ride wherever they wanted and leave wherever they wanted. Well, obviously, there was a little problem with accountability with that system. And a lot of the bikes simply disappeared. Rumor has it, they wound up in the river, at least some of them.
Right.
And unfortunately, while well-intended, the program failed spectacularly. So I volunteered for that, and I've always been a biker my entire life. So years later, I was working for Central District Health as the public information officer, and I started reading up on some of the new bike share programs that were being introduced here in the United States. And I thought that sounded pretty interesting. So I went to my director and I said, I think this could be a public health initiative. And he said, go ahead and look into it. So I did some more research. We had a grant writer at the time, and we put together a committee of folks, including researchers from Boise State University, and we came up with a plan for a bike share program. We got some funding through the federal government in the form of a Transportation Alternatives Program grant, and we managed to launch Boise Green Bike on April 15th of 2015. We were using the Social Bicycles platform, which at the time was the most technologically advanced program out there. And unlike a lot of the other programs that are dock-based, these bikes were more flexible. You could lock them wherever you wanted. And we knew where the bikes were because they were equipped with GPS technology. Things went along pretty well until about 2018. And it was around that time that our vendor, Social Bicycles, had sold itself to Uber, based largely on the strength of its electric jump bike. And Uber had no interest in supporting legacy systems like us. So they told us two things. One, we're not going to sell you that jump bike. And two, we're going to let the technology on your bikes become obsolete. So we knew we had to do something. And in 2019, we went to request for proposal to find an innovative partner who would help us graduate to the next level of bike share, that being electric assist bikes. And that process led us to the vendor we are working with today, Drop Mobility. They're headquartered in Toronto, Canada, and they are the ones providing the bikes for the pilot program we have right now.
Wow, what a great story, Dave. I remember Yellow Bikes when it spawned, like you said, in the late 90s. I thought it was so cool. But yeah, the accountability piece, and I don't think it just caught on as well as it is now. And there's a ton of discussion about transportation and mobility now, even more with the city's access through the canal, the pathways. That's exciting. And then just future discussions on how we're getting around safely. And I love the bike share program with Vall-eBike. Now tell us, it's through it's a program from the Valley Regional Transit, correct, Dave?
Right. Valley Regional Transit is our parent organization and has been throughout this entire journey with bike share, with Boise Green Bike as well. And our vendor partner, Drop Mobility, has been very patient with us because we had to shut down the Green Bike system in September of 2020 because of a number of factors. One, the outdated technology. Two, we lost our title sponsors. And three, I don't know if you heard about it, Paul, but there was a worldwide pandemic. So yeah, that sort of was a death knell for Boise Green Bike. And we were out there trying to recruit new title level sponsors, heck, any kind of sponsor. And it wasn't until this spring when I pitched the idea to the Capital City Development Corporation to help us fund this pilot program. We needed $50,000 in order to get 50 bikes for the pilot. And the board of directors of CCDC agreed to do that. And they also agreed to provide a match for every sponsorship after that, up to $50,000.
Oh, wow.
So let me just say right here, right now, we love CCDC. And what it's done is it's enabled us to put these bikes on the street and have people riding them around. And more people are riding them than ever.
That's awesome. You mentioned a pilot program. And for those that don't know, please share a little bit about that.
So the pilot is only 50 bikes. In its heyday, Boise Green Bike had 127 bikes. And we felt that that program was too small to adequately serve a community of over 200,000 people. So 50 bikes is even less. And so we've been forced to sort of launch this pilot just downtown using some of the old Green Bike racks that we left on the street. And the geographic area is rather limited to downtown, the north end, and the near west end. So the pilot is supposed to extend through the end of October. Hopefully, we will be able to attract some more sponsors so we can make this program permanent and expand it. It's my goal to try and bring in 300 bikes next year. But in order to do that, we need some serious sponsorships. It's going to cost us about $450,000 to grow to 300 and some bikes. But we're determined to do it. We're having some promising conversations, and I'd like to have more. So if you're interested in sponsoring it, please get a hold of me.
Hey, where are the current docking stations with the 50 bikes located?
Primarily downtown. Our most popular hubs are the ones that were also popular with Green Bike. That's the hub on the Grove Plaza, the one in front of City Hall. There's one at the Bora Post Office. And another one that's become very popular is on Fulton Street. And there's another one on 6th and Broad near Trader Joe's. So those station hubs are seeing the most check-ins and checkouts.
How long can you go on these e-bike charges? Help me understand a little bit more about the power. And I know I've tried those the two-wheelers, the micro-mobility scooters, and I'm probably just better at riding bikes than I am those things. But tell me a little bit about the bike's capabilities, Dave.
Well, these bikes are really simple. It's pedal assist, so there is no throttle. You only get the boost when you pedal. So when you stop pedaling, the boost stops as well. It's a single speed bike, so you have to, in order to get up to its top speed of about 16 miles an hour, you have to be pedaling pretty fast. And the range on the bikes varies depending on the weight of the rider, the terrain they're traveling upon, whether there are headwinds, things like that. So somewhere between 30 and 40 miles on a full battery charge, depending on the factors that I mentioned.
And what's the cost to rent one? Tell me a little bit about that. And I know it's different than what you're offering now with the Pilot.
Well, there are three basic levels of use for the bikes. We have a pay-as-you-go rate, which is $1 to unlock the bike and 15 cents a minute to ride. That works out to about $10 an hour. We have a very popular program that we just introduced with this Pilot. It's a day pass. It costs only $8 and it gives you unlimited rides up to 4 hours each during a 24-hour period. We have sold 650 of those passes, and people are riding the wheels off the bike.
Great.
We love that. And we're also offering a monthly membership. That's $39 a month. And with that, you get an hour of free ride time a day and no unlock fees. And because we want this to be affordable, especially for low-income people, we have introduced Vall-eBike for everyone. It is a program for people of limited means. They can ride the bikes for $4 a month and they get all the benefits of a regular monthly membership. We do this because the scooters are really expensive, 25 to 30 cents a minute to ride. Even working stiffs like you and me, Paul, can't afford that.
I love it. Oh my gosh. When I see high school kids running around on those things, I'm like, well, when the parents get the bill on that.
Yeah, right. And these bikes are safer. The little wheels on the scooters, man, if you hit a crack in the sidewalk or something, you're going down.
Right. Well, I love the added the additional options, right? And that's huge because that's what we need. Everybody's screaming for transportation, more mobility. How do we get around easier, safer, economically, environmentally? So I think what you're doing and your focus with Vall-eBike is just spot on, David. I just want to make sure that we talk a little bit about cost, and the pilot program is free right now, correct? Until the end of October, is that?
Yeah, and hopefully it will continue after that. But judging on ridership with Boise Green Bike, ridership drops off really steeply after the end of October. The days are shorter, it's colder. So we know that there will be a drop off, and that will give us a chance to kind of reassess and hopefully attract some sponsors.
Well, and you can ride the bike, you can access one of those bikes anytime during the day, right? In a 24-hour period?
24/7. Yeah.
Okay, so that works great for graveyard folks at Micron or Albertsons that are throwing freight and need to get back to work. That's just awesome. There was many times where my car broke down halfway down and I just had to hoof it. But that was many years ago. Dave, is there anything else that you'd like to educate me and the listeners on today while we have you?
Yeah, well, it's our vision, Paul, to allow these bikes, the system to grow, and then to help it support our main business, which is fixed route buses here in Boise. So we would like to see people using these devices to get to and from bus stops. That is our goal. That's why we want to grow the system and especially grow it into neighborhoods where there are low-income people who may not even own a car. And this would be a much better option than, say, an Uber or a Lyft because it's cheaper and it's on demand 24/7.
I really like that. And there's something about getting on a bike with a little wind in your hair. I tell you what, the smile doesn't disappear quickly.
Oh, yeah. And you take that first ride on one of these bikes and the smile is from ear to ear.
That's awesome. Well, Dave, I've got the website scrolling along the bottom of the screen. There's a lot of good information, more details about Vall-eBike. And like you said, let's get some support from the business community, help launch this bad boy. Dave, thank you for your many years of friendship and partnership on a personal level and in the business world. I'm just so happy that you're involved.
Well, thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. And you can get a hold of me through the website that you see scrolling at the bottom of the page.
Great. Dave, have a great week. I look forward to our next conversation. Good luck in your future race.
Thank you.